Well, everyone, it's time for us to go and take a look at the Nintendo Switch 1 Joy-Con and compare it against the Nintendo Switch 2 Joy-Con and see what the main differences are. Now, number one, the big thing I can definitely tell you, starting off, the Nintendo Switch 2 Joy-Con is definitely noticeably bigger than the Nintendo Switch 1 Joy-Con. So if you're looking at both these types of controllers, you can definitely tell the Switch 1 Joy-Con definitely is smaller overall than the Switch 2 Joy-Con. In terms of thickness and thickness, they're roughly about the same, so you can kind of get an idea right here. However, the trigger button at the very top does stick out noticeably more inside of the Switch 2 Joy-Con. The reason for that is, I think, because Nintendo had to account for this new mechanism to click back, so maybe that's why it's so much bigger, versus on the Switch 1 Joy-Con it was just kind of this button right here. So the trigger on the backside definitely sticks out more, but I don't feel like one is like way thicker than the other one when I'm using them. However, this side right here does protrude a lot more on the Nintendo Switch 2 Joy-Con. So you can see right here from the top, the LED lights you can see are on the front side while you're looking at the particular Joy-Con right here, whereas on the Nintendo Switch 1 Joy-Con, they were at the top. I actually love it on the Switch 2 Joy-Con. I think this is a way better approach because now when you're playing a game, you can see exactly which controller you are, as well as, you don't have to look at the top of it. Also, these trigger buttons, these right and left triggers, are so much bigger now inside of the Nintendo Switch 2 Joy-Con. This almost, I would never imagine going through and using this as an actual dedicated Bluetooth controller. I feel like it was just too small, and I feel like these trigger buttons at the top just really weren't that great. But now that we have these actual buttons right here, with these bigger ones, they're so much bigger. I feel like this could actually be somewhat of a dedicated type of controller button that I could end up using. Now, in the future, I hope Nintendo adds some sort of actual charging port on these things that you can take with you, but I still think with the Nintendo Switch 2 Joy-Cons, that right there was a very big difference. On the backside, there's not really anything else big going on. The backside right here, you can see just how much bigger the trigger button is for the back button. So you can see right here, the back button on the Nintendo Switch 2 Joy-Con is so much bigger. Also, the right trigger is also so much more pertinent, and it covers basically, there's no gap in between that. You can see there's a gap between the Switch 1 Joy-Con. The right button is basically right above it. Now, the Nintendo Switch 2 Joy-Con also has this mouse mode. If you put your mouse on the bottom right here, you can use it as basically like a mouse, which is really cool. It's kind of funny. The Nintendo Switch 1 Joy-Con basically does not have that type of feature set. So, I will tell you, going from a Switch 1 Joy-Con to a Switch 2 Joy-Con, very big difference. I think Nintendo did a really good job here. But, it's going to be interesting to see what ends up happening. My only gripe with both these controllers is there's not a dedicated way to charge these outside of the Nintendo Switch 2. So, that kind of covers it up here. If you have any other thoughts or questions, please let me know in the comment section below. Hit the like button, that would mean so much, but definitely hit that subscribe button. More importantly than everything else, I love every single one of you guys. Hopefully I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace out till then.